everyone, so this is going to be the first of a series of videos that we hope to do every single month, and it is called, what's it called?
Sip Happens.
Sip Happens. So it's basically, we're going to be having little monthly sit downs and just going over everything that's happened in the last month, what we've learned from, what we're going to do better the next time. Basically a monthly recap and goal setting for the next month, and we're just going to take you part of our journey so you know what the realities are and like the honest mistakes that you can learn from.
Honest lessons.
Yeah.
Honest lessons that we've learned.
Yeah, so every month we're going to have a beverage, different types of beverages depending on what we're feeling. Today it's what did you make us? What did you make us? Is that?
It's peppermint. It's a peppermint kind of month.
It's a minty month.
It's a minty month.
We were doing this on our Instagram. We called them a matcha catch up because we were feeling.
We love a cup of tea, and everyone knows that having a cup of tea or any sort of brew, and it allows you to slow down and just sit and catch up. And we live in a very fast-paced world, that having that moment to just be mindful and enjoy sipping and a way to connect and slow down is so important now. And so that's why we really love tea, because it forces us to sit down, boil that kettle.
Making tea or any beverage where you sit down with somebody is a ritual.
And take a moment to pause.
Yeah, a little ritual. Actually, fun fact, when Ruth and I were little, we would have tea ceremonies at night, and we'd get our Chinese tea set and have like
tea parties.
We would basically reenact Mulan, the scene in Mulan where they have to go to the matchmaker and pour the tea to fix your future in-laws.
But because we had proper Chinese, beautiful Chinese tea sets, we just loved.
They were like genuine. It was like a full-on tea session, but then it would be like we would be so caffeinated at night we couldn't sleep. Fun fact, and now to this day we still like making tea. So we're putting the fire on because it is pretty nippy today. It's like 4 degrees, I think. And we're gonna reflect on what's happened in the first month of 2025 and what our plans are for February.
Yeah. Delicious from Better Food.
I know, we're those people.
Oh, we love a snack. Love a snack. Again.
So January 2025, what's happened?
What's happened?
I don't know. To be honest, they say that people put their New Year's goals down and there's like a pressure to go full force.
We did write our goals down.
Yeah.
But this is the first year where we've written our goals down so that it's aligned into spring, not by smashing it out on the 1st of January.
Because nature is still sleeping, and so should we be.
I think that has been really hard.
Yeah, because usually our Decembers are like freaking hectic. If you're an investor, winter period is when there is much less competition.
So it is
buyers on the market. So it's a really good time to go out there and go looking for properties and offering deals, because it's hard for sellers to sell during winter because nobody wants to go outside. But that is the best time for investors to go out and find deals. But we've not been doing that this year, which is a change, because usually it's like a hectic time for us. Even with our other pet care business, that was like the busiest time, because it depends what industry you're in. You either wind down or you're like at the peak of your business. So we've actually taken it much slower this time.
And I think we deserve it. We've spent so much of our years of trying to be constantly rushing. And I think this was definitely the first year where we've gone,
we really need to reflect on how we work if we want to be working and enjoying work for the long haul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just think it's being more in tune with nature, isn't it? Like, there's meant to be 13 months in a year, not 12, really, if you listen to the schedule of what nature dictates.
If you put it actually in terms of like, as a woman who gives birth, that, you know, yes, you may pop out the baby, but then there's the 4th trimester, which is after the baby has come out. So I'm sorry, metaphorically, like after the baby's come out, you're still healing for 2 years after that. So there has to be an honouring of also slowing down.
Yeah, it's like making space to just truly wind down and take the pressure off of being like, okay, I'm going to hit the ground running right after New Year's. It's just, personally, I don't feel like the energy is there yet. I'm somebody who's so energized by the sun. Fortunately, at the moment, we are still in the UK, so we have limited sun, but even more so during the winter. So that's why it's like, as the days are getting longer, that's when I'm naturally going to have more energy, and they are starting to get longer now. So I think we are rearing now for February, really. So regarding
like just before spring,
what we've achieved in January, systems. And I think that's so important. It's been a time of reflecting and making and planning.
Yeah.
Because we were so involved physically in our business before.
We didn't have time.
There was no time to make systems to not be in it.
We didn't prioritize that time to slow down so that we can figure out what you just said.
Yeah. So we found several systems that we are really excited to get going with. As we go along, we'll recommend what we think works, at least for us. So you can take that on board if you like, if you think it might work for you. But we're on a mission and really focused on being time and location free. And we've had like the most incredible discussions with people on the Honest Property podcast.
I think that's been my highlight actually this January.
Learning from other people in it.
But it's the guests that we've had on this month. We've actually had so many incredible guests that I've learned a lot and has made me think a lot about what we're doing. Just makes so much sense.
Yeah, like you can do viewings remotely. You can have systems that manage your tenants remotely, like still provide a good service to your tenants. You can get certain insurances that safeguard you for the things that are sort of the things that people worry about the most when it comes to property, like the boiler going down, having to call out a plumber really quickly, rent guaranteed. There's so many things we're going to implement, but we're not ready to share it with you yet until we know that it works.
Yeah.
Oh, also a portfolio like overview system. We have to do, I think like Ruth and I just basically relearning all this stuff because 2025, and like in all honesty, the era of AI.
We're trying to make sure that we work with AI, not work against it.
Yeah, leverage what it has to offer. It's a tool at the end of the day to make, are we seeing it as a tool that can help us save time so that we're actually spending the time doing things that we actually really enjoy doing, which also just so happens includes making videos like this for you guys. This is where we get to like be creative and spend time together and just share that wisdom. It's like also something to factor in, and Ruth and I were talking about this yesterday, is now we're in our 30s and we've been through stuff. There's just been a huge calling to help and share knowledge.
I think it's just sharing. Yeah. It's just sharing everything and helping to create a space where other people can share their lessons too, which is so important. And especially now, we've said this before, but we do live in an information age, and there is just so much information, and we just want to make sure that we are creating a space that everyone can share all of the lessons that they've learned along their entrepreneurial journey, especially for people who are just getting started and just don't know where to start and how to not make those same mistakes. We've made a lot.
Yeah.
I feel like we're doing a podcast.
I know, we're trying not to do a podcast, but Honest Property Podcast, if you want to listen to those conversations that we've had with other people, highly recommend it. I personally love listening to a podcast. I listened to one on the way over here, actually. Our plans for February.
Our plans for February is we are actually taking back management of our properties. It's been a long time, and the big reason why we stopped managing our properties was because
we didn't have systems.
Plus, we were also working our other business. I had a baby. It was just so many things in the mix that we had to
Let's delegate that. And I'm so grateful that we did. But at this point in our business, we really want to make sure that we are
still systemizing whilst we take over taking over our management.
Yeah.
And it's funny because we do very much promote being able to delegate what you can, but we've realized now that actually you can self-manage as long as you have the right systems in place to make it easy. Like, we know how to do it, but we don't want to add more hours. What's the word? Like letting it take up too much of our time when it shouldn't, because we don't want to fall back into how we used to manage our tenants and finding the tenants. So
there will be aspects of management that we will delegate. So this is the plan. We want to work with a letting agency for holding our keys and doing the viewings for us, the tenant finding for us. From there, we then take over the management, and we will have a system that we use that handles tenant communications with healthy boundaries. Because before, we were just having them, they were just WhatsApping us or like calling us on our personal phones, and there was no healthy boundary there. So we still want to provide a good service, but manage expectations, make sure that we are all communicating as clearly as possible.
Because that was admittedly where we went wrong in the beginning. We didn't hold those healthy boundaries, and that's how we ended up burnt out.
But these systems didn't exist back then, so I'm not mad at us.
No, we live and learn. We live and learn.
Some people do it by WhatsApp and want like are happy to have a closer connection, but once you've got a portfolio, it's just a lot of people, so you just need to like also manage your work life. Like there's separation between who can contact you outside of office
and also
hours.
It didn't matter when we were in our 20s, but now like we have families, and there's only so much time that you can give to too many people all at once. So that's why it's really important that we keep systemizing everything, so that it means that we have a good relationship with our tenants without crossing their boundary as well. So it's not just about us, it's about making sure that they're happy and we're not.
And if there's a genuine emergency, say like the boiler break that broke down, we have a system for them to get immediate help without needing to go through us. So really excited to get those, implement all those, and like I said, we'll share with you. So that is the main goal of February.
Yes, main goal of February is implementing the systems that we've been
in real
prepping
time.
for. Yeah.
And then we'll let you know how we get on. This year, might as well share what the plans are for this year regarding our portfolio. We're going to be upgrading our properties as well, because some of them are overdue a little bit of a makeover. So we do this every 5 years, and that would be like new carpets. We'll just update certain features in the home. I think
we have one property that needs a kitchen update, but at the time we put the money towards another property that needed
something more
urgently that we were able to wait to that's why portfolio planning is really important, because you need to be able to see where you need to make the updates when your portfolio grows, and which is more urgent, where can the money go to first, and put in a timeline. Okay, that next property is the next urgency.
Did the best we could with that kitchen by thanks to YouTube, a lot of easy DIY makeovers, like we just repainted the cabinet,
changed the handles.
Like these little things can
change
really,
the sink,
yeah,
the flooring.
We're still getting used to the idea of having a camera around other people and not feeling self-conscious. But yeah, so that's the plan. We'll keep you updated every single month with our Sip Happens series. If you'd like to see more, if there's any other types of video you'd like to see from us, whether it's a day in the life or more educational content, let us know in the comments below. You can also follow us on Instagram at Honest Property Sisters. We're quite active on there.
Yes, or join our Honest Property community.
All the things are in the show notes.
Yeah,
I'll put them all there. But yeah, don't forget to follow, like,
and
subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. See ya!